everyone. It has been a while and I apologize that I have not been on here much creating. I've just kind of been in a little bit of a creative funk with scrapbooking, and I had been focusing my time on making Christmas cards, which I will have a video coming up of all of the cards I made and stamp sets I used and everything else. But with this video, I found some inspiration on Pinterest, and they had cut some strips into like sun rays and had them kind of, I don't know, in different positions on the page. And I'm using Freezing Season for this one. It is a Simple Stories collection. It's an older collection. And I'm scrapbooking these two older photos. This is from when I was 14 months old, and it is my dad building my first snowman. And so I wanted to scrapbook those, and I thought these colors really worked out perfectly with the photos. So to add a little texture, I don't know if you can see this, but I cut my strips, and then I used the scoring board, and I scored and kind of just did like an accordion fold, kind of like this with all of the strips. And I distressed the edges as well. I left a little piece here. I used my Tim Holtz distresser to do that, and you can use scissors if you don't have like a distresser like this. This just makes it a little bit easier. I guess safer for me, because I would probably cut myself with scissors, but it does make a bit of a mess, as you can see here. I'm gonna put that in my garbage. And I did that for all of these sun rays. So I'm going to be kind of laying them out, and I'm going to be trimming them down as well. Sorry about my dog. And sort of in a position maybe like this. I'm not exactly sure, but I also want to do some mixed media behind. So I'm going to go ahead and get you on fast forward and show you the mixed media process, and we'll see how this turns out. Okay, now I'm going to start the mixed media for this layout, and I'm just doing the simple packaging technique to start with. I am using some Vicki Boutin Foundations paper just because I wasn't sure how much mixed media I was going to do, and I just wanted to be safe rather than sorry. But looking back, I probably could have just used regular white cardstock. It would have been just fine because I did not add too much water. So, excuse me, I am using what's that newest ink by Tim Holtz? Not the green, new green one, but Speckled Egg is what I'm putting down there. And I'm just, dabbing the pad on some packaging, and then adding some water and placing it on the paper. I am going to let that dry before adding my next color, because I did not want it to get muddy, because I am going to be adding some pink to this now. Now, the pink that I used, I thought it would work out better, and honestly, if I were to go back, I would probably have used Abandoned Coral instead of this one, but I used the Heidi Swapp pink spray. And it's okay. In the end, you don't see a whole lot of it, and I think it still does go well with it, but I was anticipating it being a little bit different of a color. Right here, it's looking awfully dark, but when it dries, it definitely tones down quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and those are the only two colors I'm going to use with the packaging technique. Now I'm going to add some splatters, and this is a Jane Davenport. I think it's like an acrylic paint, but it's in a little tube with almost like a lipstick brush. It did not water down very well at all for these splatters, so I probably will not use that medium again for that, but I did love the color, so I thought I would give it a try. I'm also going to come in with some Abandoned Coral in the Distress Oxide sprays, and splatter with that. And I kind of went a little crazy with that one, but that's okay. In the end, I really do like how it turns out. Now, once all of this is dry, I'm going to come back in with a stencil. And here I am going through my little stencil binder here and trying to find a snowflake stencil. Can you believe this whole binder of stencils and I do not have a snowflake? But this was the closest thing I had, so I went ahead and I'm going to use that. Now I'm going to go in with the Deco Foil Transfer Gel Duo. Now there are two different types of transfer gels. There's the original transfer gel, and this one is the Duo. And the Duo, you can use it with heat or without heat. And I am putting this through the stencil, and I have to let it dry. It still is tacky when it dries. And then you'll see that I'm just going to simply use a brayer and foil, and I'm going to be able to transfer that foil right onto my layout. So I had this purple color, and it's not in the collection, but I do have a purple coat on in the picture, so I thought that would really tie the picture in with the layout. So I'm using some purple. I'm using some of this iridescent like pearl blue and some yellow. And you will be able to see this pretty well in the close-ups. It's kind of hard to see now. And there is kind of a lot going on there in the mixed media, but it kind of looks like falling snow, or that's what I was kind of wanting it to look like, was sort of like falling snow. And I really love how this worked out, and I need to keep remembering about this transfer gel and the foil because it adds just a nice little touch, and you can use any type of stencil, or you can even spread the paste onto just like a die cut or onto just pattern or white cardstock, and then you can just foil it, and then you could use it to die cut or punch out something. It's really cool stuff, and I'm super excited that I'm going to just kind of leave this on my desk for a while, I think, just so that I can remember to use it. So I'm finishing this up, and what am I going to do next? I think I'm going to come back there. I'm kind of showing you the foil, and now I'm going to come back with my sun rays, and I did cut those down, and I'm going to lay them out, and then I'm going to adhere them. And I just adhere them in the center, like where they all meet. And I don't adhere down the, like what's around the edge, because I just want to have that little bit of dimension with them kind of not being glued to the paper. So I'm really loving how this turns out. And this is an older collection that I purchased at my little scrapbook store. And I just think the colors worked out perfectly for this. So I'm super, super excited about it. If you're new to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe. There is a subscribe button. Click on that. And you can click on that bell if you want notifications when I put up new videos. My goal is to continue putting up 2 videos a week. That is what I had been doing prior, but I just kind of fell out of the groove, but I'm trying to get back into it, and my goal is 2 videos a week. I do participate in a few monthly hops where I'm joined by a bunch of other people, and we do different things, so those will be on my channel as well. I do have an Instagram account, and it is Tisa Brown Creates, so you can always go back over there to see all of my layouts there as well. So here we go. I glued those pictures together and then kind of positioned them on the layout where I want them. And I am going to go ahead and put them up on foam. And I did that mostly because underneath was pretty uneven. So I thought the foam would help kind of stabilize the photos and give them a more of a flat surface on the page. And that way they would kind of be the same level. So you're going to see me playing around so much with just like moving embellishments around and things like that. I did pull some items from my stash to pull in as well. That is one of my favorite things to do. So when I start with a layout, I typically start with a collection of some sort, or whether it be just paper or the paper and embellishments. But I'll start with that, and then I go through all of my embellishments that are not part of a collection, and then I'll go through I'm sorry guys, I got a phone call, a telemarketer phone call, of course, but then I start going through all of my other things that are kind of just on the side, and I pulled out these stickers. They're like word stickers, and they're a baby collection, but I'm going to use the word adventure as part of my title. And then I pull out these really cute pink thickers, and I'm sorry, but I take all of my thickers out of their packaging and repackage them before I put them in their spot. And so I'm not sure which ones these are, but I'm going to use these right there to spell snowman. And then I'll come in with some smaller pink fresh stickers, like puffy stickers, and I'm going to spell first. So it's going to say First Snowman Adventure. Excuse me. And this takes me just a bit to get this title down. And I just kind of, what I loved about this is the snowman just kind of nestled in with that, the ascenders, which is the D and the T in adventures. So I could really nestle those words in together to make that title. And I love when that happens. There's like no awkward blank spaces or awkward white space, and that's my favorite, when you can just get everything nestled in perfectly. So I do not have the opportunity to use snow collections very much because I live in North Carolina, and we maybe get snow once a year, and it lasts not very long. And then, of course, my boys are all in college, so, they're not like playing in the snow and stuff. So I was excited to find these pictures in my little box of older photos, and to be able to use this collection. So super excited about that because I love snowy collections, but I don't get to use them, but I buy them and I don't get to use them very often. And so this gave me the opportunity, and be a picture of me, a girl, I could easily use all of the pinks and everything, which was also fun. So yeah, I really am loving how this turned out. Here I am kind of just going through trying to find things for embellishing, and I love those little mittens. Those came from the Freezing Season die cuts, and what I loved about those is they perfectly just kind of nestled in around that title. But what I struggled with too is I couldn't just put just the mittens up there. So I was trying to figure out how in the world am I going to build a cluster up there. And I end up finding a way, but I had to kind of come back to that and let my mind kind of think about it a little more and go through more ephemera pieces to find something that worked. So I'm using chipboard and some die cuts to kind of just have clusters on each side of the photos. And I like how that looks. I'm still wanting to get in that banner piece, but it does not make it. So I just put on a sticker. It said Snow Happy. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. And then I added that blue house. Now that is from an older crate paper collection, I believe, but it really went well with the colors, so I used it. Now I'm going through, this is where I'm looking for something to put up there by the mittens. And I finally figured it out. That snowflake ephemera piece with another snowflake chipboard right above it. And it kind of builds that cluster there a little bit and makes it a little bit more prominent than if I just had the mittens. I'm so sorry. I'm coughing so much. So here I'm going to finish everything up. I cut that journaling card in half and I'm going to stick it under that cluster right there, and that is where I'm going to put my journaling and just say how old I am and the fact that this was the first snowman that my dad built for me. It was 1974, and I'm really happy that I have this photo and now it is documented. So I will be coming up with some close-ups here shortly. And if you have any questions about anything I did in this video, please leave them in the comments below. I'm happy to answer anything. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. And you know, pretty soon that snow will be falling and you'll be able to pull out all of your fun wintry collections. So here is some close-ups, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye, guys.